Have you ever bought a new ham radio only to realize it doesn't just plug into the wall? If you're new to amateur radio, that can be a little surprising. Most mobile and HF radios run on 13.8 volts DC, not 120-volt AC power that comes from your outlet in your home. So, how do you power your station? That's exactly what we're going to talk about today on Ham Radio for Beginners, right here on Ham Shack TV. Roll that intro clip. Welcome back to Ham Radio for Beginners, episode number 14. I'm your host, Josh, AA4WX, right here on Ham Shack TV. Thanks for tuning in. In our last episode, we talked about coax and connectors, how your signal gets from your radio to your antenna. Today, we're going to talk about powering that radio. But before we get started, we're talking about power supplies and batteries, and what better place to start than Gigaparts. Gigaparts carries Intellitron and all kinds of great vendors for power supplies and batteries and Anderson Powerpoles and different connectors and things like that. Check them out, gigaparts.com. You can shop in your socks, or if you're in the Huntsville, Alabama area, stop by their store at 6123 University Avenue there in Huntsville. And if you use coupon code HAMSHACKTV either online or in the store, you get double rewards points. But if you want 4 times rewards points and a perpetual warranty, check out Gigaparts Rewards Plus. I've got a coupon code that's going to save you half off on your first month of Gigaparts Rewards Plus. That's HamShackTV50, HamShackTV50. That's half off of the first month of Gigaparts Rewards Plus. And again, if you don't want Rewards Plus, that's fine too. Use coupon code HamShackTV. That'll get you double rewards points. I appreciate the support of Gigaparts and with everything they've done with Ham Shack TV. I'm looking forward to getting back down there next month for Huntsville Ham Fest. One of the first destinations I make down there is always the Gigapart store. So check them out. Appreciate their support. So let's get started. One of the first things every ham needs to understand is the difference between AC power and DC power. The electricity coming out of your outlets in your home or your business is alternating current, or AC. Most amateur radios, however, operate on direct current, or DC. Specifically, most mobile and HF radios are designed to operate on about 13.8 volts direct current, or DC power. That's because they're built to run from a vehicle's electrical system. When you're using that same radio at home, you'll need a power supply to convert household AC power to DC for your radio. Now, let's talk about the 2 most common types of power supplies. The first is a switching power supply. These are lightweight, efficient, and usually less expensive. And they're what most hams use today. The second is a linear power supply. They're heavier and quite larger, and often more expensive. Years ago, linear power supplies were known for producing very clean power with little electrical noise. Modern switching power supplies have improved tremendously, and a quality supply is an excellent choice for most amateur radio stations. Another question I hear all the time is, how many amps do I need? The answer depends on your radio. A handheld radio may draw just a couple of amps while transmitting. A typical 100-watt HF radio often needs about 20 to 25 amps. Always choose a power supply that can handle comfortably your radio's maximum current draw. Give yourself extra capacity is never a bad idea. Now let's talk about batteries. Portable operating has become incredibly popular thanks to modern battery technology. You hear all the time people wanting to go POTA or soda or anything like that. One of the best choices available today is a LiFePO₄. That's LiFePO₄, or lithium ion phosphate battery. These batteries are lightweight, they recharge quickly, provide consistent voltage, and can handle thousands of charge cycles. They're perfect for parks on the air, field day, emergency communications, or just anytime use, anytime you're operating away from commercial power. You also hear about sealed lead acid or AGM batteries. They still work well, but they're significantly heavier and generally don't last as long as modern lithium batteries. If you're building a portable station today, LiFePO₄ is usually the direction most operators choose. Now let's talk about something small that's made a big difference in amateur radio. Anderson Powerpole connectors. You see these everywhere, many clubs, emergency communications groups, and experienced operators have adopted power poles as a standard. Why? Because they're reliable, easy to connect, genderless, and make it simple to power different pieces of equipment without constantly changing connectors. You can see that in the lower left-hand corner of our graphic here. Really simple. There's just not much to say about that. They're super simple to work with. If you're building a new station, it's worth learning how to use them. Now let's talk about protection. Protection's big time important. Every radio installation should have properly sized fuses. Excuse me. A fuse is inexpensive, but it can protect your equipment from dangerous damage if something goes wrong. Never bypass a fuse. Never install a larger fuse just because one keeps blowing. If a fuse fails repeatedly, find the problem. Don't hide it. One mistake I see beginners make is buying the cheapest power supply they can find online. Remember that your power supply is literally feeding every piece of equipment in your station. A quality power supply will provide years of reliable service. It's one of those purchases where spending a little more up front often pays off in the long run. Now, here's today's big takeaway. Your antenna gets the signal into the air. Your coax exercises it, and your power supply keeps everything running. Every part of your station matters. Building a great station isn't about one expensive radio. It's about choosing reliable equipment from the beginning to the end. All right, guys, that's going to wrap up this episode of Ham Shack TV, Ham Radio for Beginner series. In our next episode, we'll put everything we build very first. We'll talk about desk layout, station organization, grounding, cable management, and how to create a station that's comfortable to operate for years to come. If you found this video helpful, please make sure you share it out with another soon-to-be ham or somebody that may have interest in the hobby. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, the thumbs up button. Go check out Gigaparts, all that good stuff. We'll see you in the next episode, 73, AA4WX, WSCB 693.